There's been a lot of talk recently about mail-in voting as a means to replace in-person voting. Many claim that it's just as safe as voting in person. But did you know that in past elections, hundreds of thousands of ballots sent back by voters have been rejected by election officials for defects? Millions more have been undelivered, misdelivered, or reported missing. According to the U.S. Election Assistance Commission, since 2012, 2 million ballots were returned as undeliverable, and more than 28 million ballots were unaccounted for. To say it another way, no one knows what happened to them. Unlike polling place ballots, the absentee ballot system introduces huge blind spots in the chain of custody. It can make voters subject to pressure, coercion, and intimidation in their homes by candidates, campaign staffers, party activists, and political guns for hire. It can also create opportunities for fraudulent ballot harvesting. Have you heard of ballot harvesting? It's when a third party collects and delivers absentee ballots on behalf of other voters. It's legal in more than half of U.S. states and the District of Columbia. But fraud can easily be committed by those collecting the ballots. Take North Carolina, for example. A Republican political operative illegally collected and tampered with voters' ballots in 2016 and 2018. This led to an election redo in North Carolina's 9th Congressional District in 2019. But fraud is not the only issue with a mail-in ballot system. As recent primary elections have demonstrated, the United States Postal Service is not prepared to handle the huge influx of mail-in ballots in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic. Take New York's June primary. Due to COVID-19, there was a huge increase in mail-in voting. The result? Disaster. The Postal Service failed to postmark thousands of ballots being sent back by voters, leading to those ballots being disqualified and rejected. Many ballots were also delivered to voters too late, effectively making it impossible for eligible voters to return their ballots in time to be counted. Additionally, state election officials were not prepared for the massive number of mail-in ballots, delaying the results for weeks. Ultimately, 1 in 5 mail-in ballots in New York City were rejected. That means 84,000 ballots, or 21%, were not counted. New York's train wreck of a primary is not a standalone case. Recent primaries across the country that attempted or encouraged universal mail-in voting suffered similar lapses in the system that led to the disenfranchisement of thousands of voters. But these examples are just primaries, and they typically have a far lower participation rate than the general election. Of course, those who are most at risk or too sick or disabled to vote in person should be able to vote with absentee ballots. But the rest of us should be able to vote at our polling place in person, using the same health safety protocols we're using to go to the pharmacy or grocery stores. Voting is one of the most solemn, patriotic duties we have as citizens of this great country. We have the right to ensure our vote will be counted when we ourselves drop it in the ballot box, rather than depending on the Postal Service or some stranger to maybe, hopefully, deliver our ballot and not change who we voted for.